You're listening to Carolina Forest Panther football on the Carolina Forest Panther Football Network, and it starts right now.
Hello and welcome to Carolina Forest Panther football right here on the Carolina Forest Panther Football Network. And they're already doing the national anthem, but tonight is senior night here at Conway High School as the Carolina Forest Panthers get ready to take on the Conway Tigers in the second of a back-to-back with 1 week off matchup. This is the first official region game of the season for the Panthers, and this is a big matchup to really show what the Panthers are made of this season. I'm Brandon Biskobing. I'll have all the action for you. And joining me as usual, Preston Payne. And Preston, tonight is probably, I would say, it could very well be the biggest game of the season.
And I think because of when
Hold on a sec. For some reason, I'm not getting any levels on you. Yes. Sorry about that. We're having some technical difficulties real quick, trying to get that figured out. Try. Oh, lovely. Probably should have tested this out before. Hold on, we'll take a quick break and come right back.
There's a new breakfast in town. Our new Bo's Chicken Biscuit isn't just good. With the scratch-made, fluffy buttermilk biscuit and bold, crunchy, hand-breaded fried chicken, it's convert to a morning person good. Just found your new go-to good. Capital G-O-O-D good. Because our breakfast is the kind of breakfast that eats other breakfasts for breakfast good. Bo's Chicken Biscuit. It's good.
Welcome back as we are at halftime. This is the Bojangles Bowtime halftime show here at Conway High School as the Panthers lead Conway 14-7 at the half. And, I mean, this has been a much better game than the Panthers have played over the last couple of weeks. But do you have any worries with Conway scoring those points at the end of the half?
No, because we knew the defense wasn't going to be shut down or give everyone a shutout or anything like that. I am beyond happy for how the defense has played. 2 turnovers, only giving up 7 points, and we were talking about it during the break in between the end of the second quarter and the halftime.
Yeah,
and it was 26-7 at the half.
Yeah,
in the first game.
Yeah,
and it's 14-7 now.
Mm-hmm.
And when you asked me pregame, do you think the break will help or hurt? I think we have our answer right now.
Yeah,
I think it helped a lot because you're together. You're not separated from each other. You have the open week. You can still practice with each other. You have basically a bye week. You knew who your opponent was. You have film on them because you just played them.
Yeah.
It was I think we have our answer of whether or not it was good for Carolina Forest, and that answer is good. It was very good for the Carolina Forest Panthers.
Yeah, and I mean we talked about it in the pregame as well. You have to wonder, especially knowing that, and you kind of see it already in this game, knowing that they had to play them again 2 weeks from then. I think Coach Morris held a couple of tricks back. I think he held Luke Janik back a little bit. Didn't really use him at all in that game. Held a couple of plays in his playbook out of that game and basically used that game as a warm-up, essentially.
And I wonder if he used that game as a warm-up because he was missing so many players, like we mentioned in the pregame.
Yeah.
Because why try to go out and potentially injure more players? And a lot of things we talked about pregame in the shortened pregame that we had because of the technical difficulties have kind of come to fruition. We wanted to see the defense play better.
Yeah.
That's happened a lot. We wanted to see the offense come out to a hot start. That's happened. 14 points in the first half, which is double their total from the first game. And now you have a team that has momentum. And now they're coming into the second half, and the defense has more momentum, I think, than the offense does because the defense has, like I mentioned, two interceptions, and they've been able to tackle a lot better. It was starting to get a little wavery towards the end of the second quarter, but I think that the team as a whole can build off of the first quarter performance and go out and do that in the third quarter and the fourth quarter to close out the game.
Yeah, I would have to agree with that. I think the Panthers definitely have more momentum on their side. It's just going to be a matter of making sure you don't make any critical mistakes at this point.
And I would like to I don't think we mentioned this pregame, but the number 2 wide receiver on this Panthers team, Anthony Aponte, is out today.
Yeah.
He is not playing today, he is their slot guy. He is the one who does the 5-yard hitch routes and comes in.
Alec Youngblood has stepped in and has made a couple of plays tonight.
He's made a couple of plays, but he's also not a top 5 receiver in Region 6-5A.
True.
Or in Horry County, I should say.
Yeah.
It's because the yardage totals were for Horry County. That's besides the point. Anthony Aponte is out today. when you have a top 2 wide receiver on your team out and you're up by 7,
that's
always a good sign. Yeah. And I think had he been playing today, he would have a good chunk of yardage, even more than Alec Youngblood. Not saying Alec Youngblood is bad because he's made a couple really good plays on offense today, but Anthony Aponte just brings that extra jolt. Like we saw in the Sumter game, the one touchdown he had was a 60-yard catch and run to the house.
Yeah.
So it's kind of the compare and contrast between the two. But like I said, whenever I don't care who the starter is.
Yeah.
If you have a starter out and you're still winning by 7, that's always a good sign.
Yeah. But I mean, the one thing that and people were asking me about it, after the Conway game, of why aren't they using Luke Janik as much this season? And tonight we've seen it. We've seen Coach Morris go back to Luke Janik a lot more, and it's worked. I mean, I finally got to call one of those big time long Luke Janik runs.
And that run, I think it was a 60 because it's from the 45, so it was a 55-yard run. But even on the kind of 3 and 4 yard chunk plays that led to the touchdown, and just a short 5-yard run on the other drive, when you do that, you're able to set up so much else because I say set up because we've seen it on the punting game with Luke Janik. The first time that they went 4 and out, or no, they didn't go 4 and out. They went 3 and out. They punted on 4th down. They actually go for it they set up in the punt. They go for it on 4th, but then they do the opposite the next time.
And it fools the Conway defense.
Right, and I would like to point out after that punt, Wesley Fletcher blows up the screen pass, and then the next play, what does he come down and do? He comes down and gets the interception, which then leads to the touchdown, the big run touchdown that we were just talking about. It all circles back.
Yeah.
And I think that's important to note for this Carolina Forest Panthers team is that they build off of each other.
Yeah, exactly.
And like I mentioned, they had the open week to come together even more than they already have because we mentioned the chemistries between the teammates ahead, like JV basketball, varsity basketball, middle school even. But when you spend even more time to each other, it almost feels like family instead of just teammates. And that's the difference between, I think, the first Conway game and this game is they're more together, and the defense is playing 100 times better than they were playing the first game.
Yeah, I would definitely have to agree with that. They should be able to win this game, and this is going to be a big region win for them, the first region win of the season for the Panthers. And speaking of region, let's go around the region real quick. Just one other game being played tonight, and I know we said this before, and it turned out to be flipped on its head, but Socastee is leading St. James at the half, 17-0. But this happened a couple of weeks ago when those two teams played, and we all know what happened there in the second half. So St. James is trying to clinch a playoff berth tonight. And with how they're playing this season, it looks like they probably will make it
at some point. So if the score stays the same of this soccer game, it won't be tonight. But what was the last time St. James? Obviously, you don't have the numbers on it right now. But what was the last time you heard of St. James going to playoffs in Region 6-5A?
I think the last time they made it to the playoffs, I think I saw it earlier this week. The last time was in 2015, I want to say.
2015. That was 6 years ago. Yeah, 6 years ago. You know what I was doing in 2015? I was a third grader. I was a third grader at Carolina Forest Elementary School. That's how long it's been. And for St. James, that's got to feel great because you have an opportunity to go to playoffs for the first time since 2015. That's a big achievement.
Yeah.
And you've mentioned they've been cellar dwellers for the past 6 years, basically. And it's just got to feel good. I can only imagine for St. James.
Oh, yeah. But now that sets up a position where, like we talked about during the pregame, this game is critically important for both of these teams because whoever loses this game, along with Socastee, they drop down to still being winless in the region, and thus they really have their work cut out for them if they want to make it into the playoffs. Currently, the only teams that have official region games are, well, everyone else. St. James beat Conway last week. Sumter beat Socastee. So if Conway loses here, they go down to 0-2. If Socastee is able to beat, if Socastee is able to beat St. James, if they're able to hang on to that margin, then they go up to 1-1. Carolina Forest would be 1-1. St. James would be 1-1. So then Conway would be the team that would really need to do something if they want to get back in the hunt.
And the good part about it, okay, so if we keep this lead, knock on wood, the good part about it is we would have the tiebreaker over Conway, which if our region things are the same, our region records are the same, we would have the tiebreaker to go in.
Exactly.
And so, like we said, this is a big game for these two teams, but it's even bigger of a game for everyone else in the region, just like the St. James Socastee game that's going on right now, too.
I mean, every game is important now at this point in region schedules, but there are definitely certain games that at least feel at this point to be more important than others when it comes to not only who gets in the playoffs, but also seeding.
Right, and so we're assuming Sumter is the number 1 seed because they've been the number 1 seed for however many years.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see if they clinch the number 1 seed before the end of the season, which doesn't happen often because it's high school sports or whatever. Yeah. But do they still decide to play their starters and play spoiler for whoever because they end this because they had their bye week already. Yeah. So they're playing region games pretty much the rest of the season. For the rest of the season. Yeah. Do they decide to play spoiler to whoever they play in the last week of the season if they have the number 1 seed clinched up?
I would say yes.
Just because as a tune-up game for the playoffs?
And plus, history has shown us whether it's high school, you don't really see it all that much in high school. You don't really see it in college much, but you see it in the pros with the NFL. Those teams that basically skid their way into the playoffs because they clinched so early and then start resting stars and everything, they don't often do very well in the playoffs.
Right.
They often, but a team that comes in hot is having to fight their way into the playoffs can make a run. So, I don't think you would see anything like that
on the high school level,
especially not on the high school level where every game's important anyway.
Right.
To these players, but
but who really knows?
Now, what could be interesting, and it's kind of funny how now with how this game is going, now we can kind of talk in the opposite direction. If the score stays as it is with the St. James and Socastee game, and St. James starts to fall off a little bit, that last game of the season could be a home field advantage game.
Right. And with the seeding, Carolina Forest could realistically be anywhere from 2 to 5.
Yeah, at this point.
Because
obviously... Now, obviously, stranger things have happened.
Right.
But if they win this game, I think it unofficially, I would say it probably clinches a playoff spot.
Right, but again, you don't count your chickens before they hatch.
No, of course not.
And this game is still undecided.
Yeah, exactly.
As we are try to get another stop on for 2 touchdowns on the field again.
Yep.
And that would be huge for this Carolina Forest Panthers team.
But before we get the second half underway,
oh Lord,
I just because I saw it, and because we were talking about cellar dwellers, it's one team that will never not be a cellar dweller, and do you want to know what their score is tonight?
I can't get a guess on both of them.
Darlington, 48-0 against North Myrtle Beach tonight.
That's ridiculous.
I mean, they've lost their last 3 games by combined. Each game has been 60-0 or 70-0. I think.
You almost gotta feel bad.
Oh
for
yeah.
Darlington.
And it's curious. With realignment coming up, you have to wonder if them, like Marlborough County did on the last realignment, if they'll end up dropping down to 3A.
Right, and that realignment's going to be fun because it'll be my senior year that they actually do the realignment.
Well, no, they'll start next year.
It'll start next year?
Yeah.
Oh, word. So I got 2 years with the realignment. And that sucks because I only get 1 year with this one.
Well, remember we were talking about this when we were at Sumter?
Right.
I said this is probably going to be the only opportunity you get to be in this box. As a squib kick starts off the second half. And
there was a late hit.
Falling on it was number 7. That was Jameek Dukes. And like you mentioned, there was a bit of a late hit, but no flag.
And Coach Mark Morris is in the ear of the ref, and the ref's shaking his head like, no, that wasn't that late. The people below us definitely.
Yeah,
they don't care that they're not getting penalized for it.
The fans on the Carolina Forest side were not happy with that call, but it is 1st and 10. Ball on the 43-yard line. Shotgun set, 3 wide on the far side. Snap, hands it off, and tripped up. The turf monster,
the grass monster,
got Rodney Huggins there, and he'll fall down for a loss of a couple, and that'll make it 2nd and 12. Ball on the 40-yard line.
I don't know. The grass had more tackles right there than the Carolina Forest defense
has had the last couple of weeks.
Now,
yeah,
we can't really dog on them right now because
they're actually playing well.
Right, but now you got to take advantage of the break right here, and you got to stop them here.
Shotgun set, 3 wide on the far side. Granger takes a snap, 5-step drop, gets scrambled out, and gets ripped down by
Number 4, Sam. Oh,
no.
Yeah, Sammy.
Sammy Atlassi makes the tackle for a huge sack, and it'll now be third and a mile.
3rd and 24 for the Conway Tigers, and that's one of those That's one of those sacks where you barely get him by your ankle. Yeah, that feels so good because you.
Well, that's the thing. That's been the difference between this game and the last 2 games is that those tackles that have been by a shoestring have been going the Panthers' way. 3rd and a mile. Shotgun set. 2 wide on either side. A low snap is fumbled by Granger. He's able to pick it up. He'll take himself down the near side sideline. Step out of bounds after a gain of about 8. But that won't even get him back to the original line of scrimmage. It'll set up 4th and 15.
And that's going
to
be
Conway.
And sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. They're setting up for a punt. So Jack Schuessler is going to be back to return. And I like the defense. We said that was going to be a key drive to make sure that they don't score on the first drive. They only took a minute and a half off the clock. That was a great defensive drive by the Carolina Forest Panthers right there.
Yeah, absolutely. The punt. High punt, but not very far. And that will be downed at the 40-yard line of Carolina Forest. And that's where they'll take over on offense.
And just a sky-high punt. Luke Janik actually he pushed the last line of defense I like to call him for the punt team.
Yeah.
But he pushed him back into the punter almost, and that's why the punt was so high because he had to angle it or it was going to go backwards.
Yeah.
Now the offense has to take advantage of what the defense gave them. Still 10-20 in the second half.
Shotgun set, 3 wide on the far side. High snap over Sailor's head again. That'll roll all the way down, and it's still on the ground. Fielded, recovered by Janik, but he'll get taken down at around the 6-yard line.
Oh, my.
Another poor snap by Cooper Dale at the center position. And now it'll be 4th and...
2nd and 43.
Yes.
Wow.
2nd and 43. Just say second and from here to Carolina Forest.
But this is like twice the second and 24 the last time. And honestly, the Panthers are just lucky to get the ball back.
Yeah.
And not
because it looked for a second like a Conway player jumped on it, but he was not able to field it cleanly, and it was still on the ground. Shotgun set, 2 wide on either side. Hands it off. Janik takes it near side and just steps out of bounds. Actually, that was Khalil Johnson on the run. And he'll get a gain of a couple. Make it 3rd and 37. Third and manageable. No.
Oh, Lord. But honestly, right now, I think Luke Janik's not on the field right now, but I would like to see Luke Janik get a run on 3rd down just because you've seen the big playability of him already.
Shotgun set, 3 wide, 2 wide on the near side. Low snap, throwing deep, and almost caught by Nathan Schuessler. And that would have given the Panthers the first down. Oh, actually, I take that back. That would have just gotten them back to the original line of scrimmage if he had caught that. But just a little bit too far. And now that'll set up 4th and 37, and you got to punt it at this point.
Yeah, now Conway is actually planning for the punt right here.
So Luke Janik comes out. Perfect snap, a long punt. Going all the way back to the 35-yard line and trying to take it up the field is Terry, and he will get pushed out of bounds down the far sideline at the 48-yard line. And that's where Conway will take over. They'll take over in Panther territory, and just like that, now Conway has a chance to tie it up.
And that was just a wasted drive right there because of the
you can't really do anything about it.
2nd and 43 or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Now it's just up to the defense to get another stop.
Yeah, the defense has to get another stop here. Shotgun set, 3 wide on the far side. Snap, hands it off, and almost getting stopped, but still on his feet. He cuts back from the far side down to the near side and gets a gain of about 6. Rodney Huggins, there was a literal wall of both offense and defensive players when he cut it to the far side, cut it to his right, but he was able to bounce it back to his left, bring it down the near side, and get a gain of 5 after it originally looked like he was going to get stuffed.
And he lost his balance for a second. He did a little bit of a limbo to get back on balance and was able to get a good gain or a decent gain out of it.
So it'll be 2nd and 4, shotgun set, 3 wide on the far side. Snap, screen pass, thrown over to, and will get pushed out of bounds at around the 28-yard line. That was Jameek Dukes who made the catch.
There's a flag down. It's going to be holding, it looks like, by the reaction of the Conway coaches. They're going to move him back.
So that play will be negated. It is holding on Conway. So that good screen pass to Dukes will be negated. And it'll now be 2nd and 10.
And I couldn't read the jersey number because he was kind of just flashed by and it was on the far side of the field. But there was a defender, I think it was number 40.
Sammy Adlazi.
It was, yeah. So he came in and he read the screen perfectly. He just couldn't get his hand out and deflect it. He was there, and I would just like to point, that was a great read by him.
Shotgun set, 2 wide on either side. Low snap, Granger looking, throwing it down the far side and almost caught by Dukes down the sideline, but just could not quite come up with it.
And he was wide.
Yeah, that would have been a touchdown.
There was no defender within maybe 10, 15 yards of him right there, and he looks shaken up on the side right there. He's on the ground in the end zone.
Yeah, that's not a good sign for Conway, but with him being off the field, they'll still continue play.
Conway just took a timeout.
Oh, okay. Conway decides to take a timeout.
So before we go to break, I would just like to point out, So the same thing that happened in the at the end of the first half could again happen here. Takes a timeout early in the second half. Could that come back to bite Conway? It didn't come back to bite him the first time.
Yeah, but
you don't want to rely on you doing that again.
Well, I mean, this scenario is a little bit different, kind of, just because of the injury. But either way, you still have to use I still agree with you that, this could be a pivotal moment in this game because now Conway only has 2 timeouts.
Right. And for the defense here, 3rd and 10, you got lucky on an overthrow.
Yeah.
And now you have to come back and you have to pin your ears back. If I'm Coach Mark Morris, I'm sending 5 guys right at the QB, make him, because today he hasn't been able to throw on the run.
Yeah.
In the first game, he was able to make throws on the run, and that's where a lot of their yards came from, was throws on the run from Devin Granger.
Yeah.
But today he hasn't been able to make those throws. I say you send 5 at him, and you trust your guys on the defensive side in the secondary to know what they're doing.
I could see that. We're back to action. Shotgun set. 2 wide on either side. Granger. And now looking over towards the sideline. Getting the play call. Clock is running down, and the clock ran out, but they're going to say he got the snap off in time. High throw.
Incomplete.
And it's incomplete.
Good defense by Wesley and number 21. Hayden Glazer there. And that was a really good defensive play by both of them. They were both there to deflect the pass and make the incompletion happen.
Aiden Brantley was the intended target on that pass. So that'll bring up 4th and 10.
And they're going to punt again. See, this is the difference between Carolina Forest and Conway. Conway seems a little bit more conservative in and maybe that's because of what they saw in the first half with Luke Janik being able to run for gains of so much.
Yeah. The punt. A high punt. And Schuessler will just let it bounce, and it will roll into the end zone.
It was almost a
perfect coffin corner.
It literally hit the pylon.
Yeah,
it hit the inside of the pylon, and that was. I'm gonna say that was the best high school punt I might have ever seen. We've seen a few good Janik ones, but not
like that.
Not like that. Not coffin corner type kicks. But for the offense, so going back on offense here, you have to capitalize. You don't need the mistakes. The defense got 2 stops in a row, and you need to capitalize on that. You need to take a 2-possession lead right here.
Absolutely. Shotgun set, 3 wide on the near side. Saylor takes the snap, screen pass over, and getting pushed out of bounds after a gain of maybe 1 is Alec Youngblood.
That was the number 3.
Excuse me.
It was
that was number 3, Jackson McCoy.
We kind of took a play out of the Conway playbook right there, trying to get a little screenplay going. And here comes Luke Janik in, and they're going to go a 2 running back set here. And it'll be interesting whether they go offset or whether they what type of formation, because we've seen them go into a couple formations with the 2 running backs.
Looks like they're going to go shotgun pistol. The strong pistol formation. Now Janik moves from strong side to weak side. They'll go speed option, and looks like there was
they're gonna call a delay of game here, but they were ready to call that as soon as the clock hit 0. And we've seen a couple plays where Conway was
we saw that one just a few plays ago.
And they kind of they weren't looking for it, but maybe that's Coach Mark Moore saying, "Hey, can you actually look at the play clock?"
Yeah. So it's now 2nd and 15. 6 minutes left to go in the 3rd quarter. And they once again will go with the 2 running back set. 2 wide receivers on the far side. Snap, hands it off. No. The
speed option.
Well, a triple option, pitches it out to Johnson, and he'll get a gain of a couple. Oh, actually, they're going to say he lost a yard.
That's kind of a generous spot for Conway. Alec Youngblood limping off the field. That's never a good sign.
Yeah, that's not a good sign for Carolina Forest.
Carolina Forest. In comes Jackson McCoy for him, though. And this is one of those plays where you need to get, with how aggressive Carolina Forest is, you need to get at least like 10 to like 5 yards or 10 to 15 yards on this.
Shotgun set, 3 wide on the near side.
Deep. Jackson
Throwing
McCoy.
it deep. McCoy makes the catch.
Oh no!
Oh no! They're gonna.
No!
He had it, but the turf, his fall, made him lose control of the ball at the 45-yard line of Conway. And now it'll be 4th and 16.
Oh, that was. We both thought he had possession. I thought he had possession.
Well, I guess the force of the impact of him falling forced him to drop the ball, and you have to maintain control throughout your fall. As Luke Janet comes out to punt it away, he punts it towards the sideline.
That was not his best kick. That went out around the 40-yard line.
And that will go out of bounds. Yeah, and like you said, they'll mark it down at the 44-yard line. Oh no, actually, yeah, you are right. They're gonna mark it at the 41-yard line. So that's where Conway will start with the ball, and
I feel like we've already had more possessions in this quarter than we've had the entire first half.
Oh yeah,
because it's just been back and forth and back and forth. And if you're Carolina Forest, you keep playing that game because if your defense keeps getting stops, you're gonna end up winning the game.
Yeah, as long as the defense keeps on making stops, but that's gonna be the key. Shotgun set, trips on the far side. Snap, a quick jet sweep. It
was like an end. It was almost like a.
It was an end around. Yeah.
It was a trick play where the wide receiver took the end around, but then flipped it to the other wide receiver coming around, and it was either way. It's a loss of 11.
Yeah, it's a loss of 11. A great job by the Panthers defense reading the play, noticing the trickeration, and making the stop in the backfield.
And that's a great sign for this Carolina Forest defense on this drive. They've already been on the field 3 times in the quarter, and they don't look like they're slowing down.
Shotgun set, 2 wide on either side. Granger takes the snap, low snap, looking to the near side, throws it down the sideline to an out route running number 10. Number 16. That's Derek Grant who made the catch.
And that doesn't even get them back to the original line of scrimmage. If you hold them to no gain or even 4 yards here, they're going to punt because of how conservative Conway has, at least what they've shown so far.
So it's 3rd and 15, ball on the 45-yard line of Conway. Of Carolina Forest. Shotgun set, 2 wide on either side. Snap. 1-step drop. Looking near side on the out route. Caught. Still on his feet and getting close to the first down marker.
He's going to be short.
Is Grant, but they are going to say he came up just short.
It's going to be 4th and 2, it looks like. And
now the question is, do they go for it? Looks like they're going
to go for it. And this is a big play. This right here is the biggest play of the quarter so far, maybe even the game, because if they can get a stop here, and eventually the offense is going to score.
Yeah.
That's just a given. It's whether or not the defense can keep getting stops.
Just under 3 minutes left to go. They go to the I formation. Snap. They hand it off to the fullback, and it's fumbled.
It was fumbled. He botched the snap.
Oh, and we'll have to see who comes up with it. Either way, it should be Panther
short.
ball.
It's going to be Panther ball either way. He was short. He was short.
Yeah.
He was short of the line to gain. He botched the snap. Devin Granger botched the snap right there, and the pressure may have got. I don't know.
Well, I think it was the he knew that the defense was coming in on him. I think what it probably was, it was probably a designed quarterback sneak,
and he just didn't. And
he went too fast and fumbled the snap.
And that is huge for the Panthers defense.
That is a huge stop for the Panther defense. So they get the ball back on the 31-yard line. Shotgun set. 2 wide on the far side as well as the H-back. They'll hand it off to Johnson. Johnson gets around the corner and will get a gain of about 5 before he's brought down by a bunch of Tigers.
And these line, like these forward progress, they're not looking very generous for Carolina Forest.
No, they only gave him 4 yards on that carry when it looked like he at least got to
5 or 6.
Yeah.
And there's a couple flags down. They're conferring on the field. I don't know what they're talking about. The officials are in a little group of 3 over there.
So we'll have to wait and see what the flag is. But yeah, I think, like you mentioned, this is going to be a huge drive in this game because if the Panthers can score, just a little over 2 minutes left to go in the third quarter. If the Panthers can score here and the defense continues to play as they are, offsetting penalties, so the play will stand. It will be 2nd and 8.
See, I don't like that spot. He had at least 4 yards there on his progress.
I thought he at least got to the 36.
Right.
So it would have been 2nd and 7.
They're looking to the side for the play, and hey, there we go. There we go. They're setting up now.
So shotgun set, 2 wide on the near side as well as the H-back. The snap. Hands it off to Johnson, and Johnson gets waylaid in the backfield.
And that was just a blown up play by the defensive line right there. And that's not really what you want on a second down run.
The big man, Jonah Freshley, comes into the backfield to make that big tackle, and now it's 3rd and 14.
And right here, I would go back to Jackson McCoy. He had the defender beat the last time he ran a go route. Now
the Conway faithful are getting loud on their side. Shotgun set, 3 wide on the near side. Snap, 3-step drop. Looking near side, now scrambles out, throws it down the sideline. It's caught by Nathan Schuessler. He stays on his feet, still on his feet, and he gets the first down.
What an absolute play. That is the hustle plays that we have yet to see from this Carolina Forest offense. Or really Carolina Forest team in general.
Yeah, great job. Effort. Great job by Schuessler staying on his feet through the tackle, got a couple of yards after contact, and just got enough for a Carolina Forest first down. It's 1st and 10 now, ball on the 45-yard line of Carolina Forest.
Just under a minute to play, and the longer they keep this clock running, if they can get a score out of this drive, that's the prime opportunity for them to win this game.
Shotgun set, 2 wide on the far side as well as the H-back. They'll hand it off to Johnson. Johnson finds a huge hole. He could go. No one in front of him. 20, 10, 5, touchdown Panthers.
Khalil Johnson on another run, and we called the run the same exact play for Luke Janik, and now it's Khalil Johnson's turn to get a big run. What an absolute run. He shot the gap. The offensive line.
Found that hole was a mile wide for Khalil Johnson.
And so much for running the clock down, but I'm not even.
We don't care about that.
What an absolute run, and great. Like you mentioned, wide open hole. Great blocking by the offensive line to create that hole for Khalil Johnson there, right there.
The extra point is low snap, and they're going to have to fall on it. Nathan Schuessler falling on it. And that's not what you want to see, because now that leaves an opening for a potential Conway comeback that could win them the game. But
you say that, but with how the defense is playing right now.
Yes, no, of course,
and
of course.
I think it's quite funny. We mentioned this pregame about how some of the NFL teams, they kind of started slow on defense, like my Seattle Seahawks included. They start slow on defense, and then in the second half of the season, they start kind of playing better.
That seems to be what the Panthers are doing this season.
And you said it. You kind of want to see that from the Panthers. Yeah. And now it looks like with this energy that they are coming with, it's kind of coming together.
What I'm also liking, too, though, and we didn't even see this in the New Hanover game, even though they won it, is you're getting those explosive runs again by both Janik and Johnson.
Right, because in the New Hanover game, we talked about it, it was more
a methodical
6.5,
3 yards in a cloud of dust type running.
Right, and now it's the big plays that are getting them, that have them the lead right now.
So Panthers ready to kick it off once again. Oh, a squib kick. And
they smartly let it out of bounds.
They'll just let it roll out of bounds.
That was smart.
So Conway will get some prime field position. That was more so like an onside kick attempt, even more than a squib kick.
Almost. But that's just how they've been kicking, and that kind of makes me mad. That kind of makes me mad too, because like we said, JJ has a huge leg, and instead of giving them field position at the 39-yard line right now, they could have it at the 20 or whatever the case may be. It just kind of makes me mad sometimes. But you know what? Let Coach Mark Morris do his thing.
So it'll be 1st and 10, ball on the 39-yard line of Conway. Shotgun set, 2 wide on either side.
And we've been talking about the defense building momentum, and I think they've crested on their momentum, and now they just have to keep using that momentum to drive them through the end of this third quarter and through the fourth quarter.
Yeah. Shotgun set. Granger takes the snap. Fake handoff. He'll roll to his right, and he gets stuffed at the line by a prowl of Panthers. And they will not give him any yards. They might give him one.
They didn't. No,
an
he's
inch.
At the line of scrimmage. But again, it looked like he lost yardage right there, which is it's kind of.
I mean, I thought it looked like he got back to the line. I think.
And that'll be the end of the third quarter.
That'll be the end of the third quarter. Panthers leading 20-7 as we head to the fourth quarter. We'll take a quick break and come right back with the final quarter of action. 20-7, Panthers in the lead here on the Carolina Forest Panther Football Network.
Switching is easy. We do it all the time. We switch on the lights. We switch TV channels. Some of us switch partners while square dancing. Well, that's a stretch. But what's not a stretch is how you can switch and save with State Farm. In fact, State Farm agent Tony McAfee, right here in Carolina Forest, can switch you over so you can start saving today. Tony and his team are ready to welcome you to the State Farm neighborhood. With Tony McAfee, it's easy to switch and save. Just give him a call. When you want the real deal, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Welcome back as we start the fourth quarter with the Panthers up 20-7. And this game, you know, depending upon what happens, this game could come down to the wire. I mean, certainly hope not at this point, but we'll have to wait and see. Shotgun set, trips on the near side. Low snap, and Granger is not able to hang on to it. He isn't able to recover it. Oh, no.
Yeah.
He is able to recover it.
But Luke Janik absolutely leveled him on that one. So Granger fumbled it. It looked like a Panther got on top of it, and then it squirted out from underneath him. Granger picks it back up, and Janik is waiting right there. And he just absolutely levels in there. 3rd and 13 here. And if another play like that happens here, it'll be huge for Carolina Forest. Because I don't know if they'll punt it or not, but it'll still be 3rd and very long.
So it'll set up a 3rd and 13. Shotgun set, trips on the near side. Snap, 3-step drop. Granger getting some pressure, but is able to get away from it. Still under pressure. Big spin move. Still on his feet. And finally a proud
Janik stripped it.
Janik stripped it.
He got a strip sack. He takes it to the house. What an absolute play by Luke Janik. What a touchdown. The Granger was trying to spin out.
I thought he was pushed out of bounds, and then Janik just stripped it out of his hands, took it down the near side sideline to the house for another Carolina Forest Panther touchdown.
I mentioned on break I was waiting to call a big play. And
there you go.
I kind of just stole it from you. And I stood up and I was able to watch the entire play, and I just watched Janik just rip it out of his hand. What an absolute play by Luke Janik. His instincts are unnatural.
They haven't put the touchdown on the scoreboard yet, so I don't know if he stepped out of bounds.
The ref signaled touchdown. They're talking to Coach Mark Morris right now. It might be a a bench warning, like you kind of see in college after a big play. It could be a bench warning.
But either way, I don't know why the score isn't updated yet.
Did they really not?
That's what I'm trying to figure out.
The offense, the bench must have came on the field. That's the only reasonable explanation I can see right now.
So that play
that's horrible.
Is going to be negated.
That's horrible.
The Panthers will get the ball back.
They'll get the ball.
But the touchdown is negated. Panthers will get the ball at the 30-yard line.
And the only reasonable thing I can even think about would be the bench came onto the field too early.
Yeah.
Or they came out of the box, whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
But even so, we talked about big plays by this Carolina Forest defense. Another one right there. And
but you know what I have to say?
What?
That touchdown call of yours, deleted.
Hey, we're saving it for my tape, right?
Yeah. You can use it. Yeah.
Because I was a very big fan of that call. I'm not gonna lie to you. But now it's just this gives a chance for the offense and Khalil Johnson to get another big play.
Yeah. Shotgun set, one wide on either side. They'll hand it off to Johnson. Johnson trying to get around the edge, and he'll get a gain of about 5 before being tripped up at around the 30-yard line.
So you know what could be a plus of that touchdown being called back? Running time off the clock. Getting time off the clock. Now, if it's a 3-possession game in the fourth quarter,
you're pretty much done anyway.
Right, but it's always nice to just be able to better safe than sorry.
Yeah.
And with Khalil Johnson running the ball right now, I would keep it in his hands.
Yeah.
I understand Luke Janik has done the same thing, but Khalil Johnson's coming off that momentum of the long touchdown play just a couple plays ago.
They seem to be going more power right now. They're going to try to run out this clock because they're running with one wide receiver on either side. The H-back on the near side. They hand it off to Johnson once again. He slides down right about at the line of scrimmage, so no gain for him. It'll be 3rd and 5 from the 25-yard line.
And just adrenaline's got to be pumping through these veins. It's
going through our veins right now with how this game has been going.
And I kind of want to see a little hitch route like we've seen from Anthony Aponte.
Yeah.
But it looks like they're going power again, which I don't blame them because if it's not broke, don't fix it.
Yeah. Yeah, one wide receiver on either side again. They'll hand it off to Johnson. Johnson will get a gain of maybe 3. And it'll be 4th and 2. They will give him 3. So it'll be 4th and 2 now from the 22-yard line.
And they're going to get Luke Janik and Khalil Johnson. We've seen this formation, or we've seen this Wildcat-type formation a couple times, and they're going power. They took a wide receiver out of the game and brought in another offensive lineman.
Yeah, they're going to go power. Just one wide receiver on either side, 2 tight ends in. They're going to go power in the Wildcat. Janik in at quarterback. Johnson to his right. Hands it off.
Nope,
Janik decides to keep it. And he could go. He's going to get into the end zone for a touchdown.
So they take one touchdown by Luke Janik off the board.
And he says, okay, you don't want to give me the defensive touchdown. I'll take the offensive one.
And not to mention, that's his 3rd rushing touchdown of the game. And when you think about it, 3 of the 4 rushing touchdowns have been 10 yards or more.
Mm-hmm.
The Khalil Johnson one we called a couple minutes ago, and then the 2 Luke Janik ones that we just saw right there.
The snap, low snap, and
it is good.
Chaddick is able to put it up and in for the extra point. So 27-7, Panthers in the lead with just under 9 minutes left to go in the game. And it looks like this one is just about all but over. We'll take a quick break and come right back with the rest of this game here on the Carolina Forest Panther Football Network.
Happiness in a bowl. Costa Bowls is Myrtle Beach's first Acai restaurant. Costa Bowls is a fruit bowl restaurant that also serves pitaya bowls, makes smoothies, hot oatmeal bowls, and parfaits. Costa Bowls. Eat something fresh and healthy on the go. Costa Bowls always serves fresh and healthy food that is happiness in a bowl. Costa Bowls. Always fresh.
27-7, Panthers in the lead with just under 9 minutes left to go in the game, and I think this one is.
Nope.
I know.
Do not say it.
I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna say it.
Okay.
But
it is looking really good for us.
It is looking very good.
And And I am more impressed with the defense than I am with
Yes.
the offense. And we'll talk about that more kind of post.
Yeah.
But I am thoroughly impressed.
High kickoff is fielded at around the 5-yard line. Trying to get around the edge. Still on his feet, but getting ripped down. A great tackle.
Number 41.
By number 41, that is Rocky Long, who made the tackle for the Panthers.
And it was a one-on-one tackle too, and you don't see that and we haven't seen that very much.
No.
Out of the Carolina Forest Panthers defense.
Maybe they finally this extra week, this bye week, they focused on tackling.
And it's gonna be a penalty on Carolina Forest. It looks like they're pointing towards Carolina Forest. I don't know what the penalty is. There's a flag down.
Yeah, there is a flag down, so we'll have to wait to see what the official call is.
They're looking at the rule books. I don't know what they're looking at. A book. They're looking at a book. I don't know if it's a rule book per se.
I would assume it's a rule book, but we'll have to wait and see what the call is.
It's
unsportsmanlike conduct on the Panthers.
And that's going to...
And maybe because of the way that he threw him down?
No, but that was behind the play.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't on number 41 because I saw Coach Mark Morris talking to number 9, Titus Davis.
Oh, okay. So something happened off of the ball. That'll push the Tigers up.
And Coach Mark Morris is chewing out Titus Davis right now.
Yeah.
And you cannot just have silly penalties like that.
No. Especially in a game like this. So that'll give the Tigers 1st and 10 from the 32-yard line. The handoff and getting through the lane on a screen pass is Terry. He's still on his feet, going from near side to far side, bringing it down the sideline, and he will step out of bounds at around.
It's a touchdown.
He got into the end zone. It is a touchdown, but there is a flag on the play.
It's a legal block in the back at the very end of the play. He didn't even need to push him. Wesley got pushed in the back. I could be wrong, but I guarantee you it is a illegal block in the back by Conway. This one's going to be coming back.
And especially with what you just said, if it was really unnecessary, then that's really bad penalty.
And Conway's already walking back. They know that this one's coming back.
I mean, that could have. I mean, it's still
block in the back.
Yeah.
Hey.
Well done. But I mean, that's a huge blow right there.
Right.
Because that was a huge run. That could have given Conway some momentum. Could have given them the opportunity to potentially get back into this game.
Now it still is a big run.
Oh yeah.
Because of where the penalty is, but it takes a touchdown off the board, which you never want.
Yeah. And so instead of that being a 60-yard touchdown, it's just a big gain, they will set it up at the 20-yard line. So it'll be 1st and 10 from the 20-yard line. Shotgun set, 2 wide on either side. 3-step drop, passing it, and caught. Oh, no, incomplete. Sorry.
I couldn't tell. It looked like both of them had possession, and then none of them had possession. It was weird. It was an incomplete pass there. Good defense, and he was able to turn his head around. Which, if you know anything about pass interference, one of those things that the refs look for is you make a play on the ball instead of just focusing on the man.
Yeah,
and that's the good part about the good part about the play was that he was able to turn his head around.
They were trying to go to Aiden Brantley on that pass, but just could not quite get it to him. So that'll bring up 2nd and 10. Ball on the 21-yard line. Shotgun set, 2 wide on either side. Low snap. They'll hand it off, trying to get from far side to near side, but getting ripped down by Luke Janik is Rodney Huggins for a loss of 1.
And I just looked at Luke Janik stepped over the guy he tackled after he made the tackle.
Yeah.
And the ref just looked at him like, "Hey, don't do that again, man."
Yeah.
And that's kind of one of those unsportsmanlike calls that you just can't have.
Yeah.
It's 3rd and 12.
He got lucky that the ref did not call.
With how they've been calling the game so far.
Mm-hmm.
Big play on 3rd and 12 right here, though.
So it's now 3rd and 12. Shotgun set, 2 wide on either side. Snap, 3-step drop. Looking, rolling out to his left. Still looking. Now he'll scramble out. Still on his feet, trying to get around the edge, and does, but gets pushed out of bounds at around the 20-yard line. So that'll just be a gain of about 5.
That was a lot of running for a gain.
For a gain of 6.
For not a lot of gain. No, they gave him even less.
Oh, wow. I thought he got pushed out of bounds at around the 20-yard line.
He did. It was the original line of scrimmage was the 21.
Oh, okay.
4th and 9.
Again, the lack of numbers is...
Right.
So it's now 4th and 8, and they're going to go for it.
They have to at this point.
Yeah. Shotgun set, 3 wide on the near side. Motion, snap, rolling out to his right, now throwing it down the middle, and it is incomplete.
No good. He dropped
They're going to say it was incomplete. Trying to dive for it was Terry, but he just could not hang on to the low throw before it hit the ground. And that's a turnover on downs for Carolina Forest.
And that's another one of those plays where we talked about it earlier. First game, Devin Granger was able to make those throws on the run like we saw there. But now he's not making those throws.
Yeah, now he's having problems in this game.
And that's one of those things where that's just a game-to-game type thing.
And it's fortuitous for the Panthers in this one. And, I mean, we talked about it before. It's, I don't know if this was Mark Morris's plan or if it's just lucky, but, the Tigers came out with their best in the first game, but that game won't matter now.
Right.
Shotgun set, 2 wide on the near side, hands it off to Janik, and Janik will get held up at the line of scrimmage. Maybe got a gain of 1.
I think.
Oh, actually, that was Khalil Johnson. You're right.
Just they need to get a couple first downs here. Run some time off the clock right here.
So it'll be 2nd and 9. Shotgun set, 2 wide on the near side. The H-back is in on the far side. Panthers going power now.
And with how tight they've been calling the play clock, they need to be able to give themselves some time to snap the ball.
Yeah. The snap. They'll hand it off to Johnson again. He'll go near side. He'll get an edge blocker. He'll get around the edge and get the first down and more. Gets wrangled up at around the 43-yard line. And that was a great block by Manning Hitt.
And it really was, because he was able to take a step inside, get the defender that was free on the inside, and then Khalil Johnson cuts back to the outside. And the only thing I don't like about that run, he went out of bounds.
Yeah.
He could have
stops
the
the
first down.
clock.
He could have the first down and stayed in bounds and just kind of went down.
I think that was a little more of self-preservation type move where he didn't want to take the hit.
Yeah.
But either way, shotgun set, 2 wide on the far side. Motion, fake handoff.
Scotty takes it.
Scotty Sailor takes it himself and gets close to the first down marker. They'll mark him just short, so it'll be 2nd and 1.
And there's a lot of motion on that play. That was a lot of T. Mars McCollum came around the outside, the little fake to Khalil Johnson, and then just Scotty took it right up the middle because they were biting on everything else.
Yeah, that was a lot of trickeration, and like we talked about, that's something I think Mark Morris held off on.
Right.
And looks like there's a penalty.
There's a hold.
There was a holding.
Coach Mark Morris is
not happy about it. He's about 5 feet onto the field, saying, "Where was that?"
And not to mention, he's mad about all of the calls in the past couple drives right here.
So that'll make it 1st and 15 after the holding call. Shotgun set, 2 wide on the far side as well as the H-back. Nobody on the near side. Snap. Hands it off. Johnson gets through the hole and gets actually, Janik is the one on the field.
No,
it was Johnson. I thought I saw it too at first, but Johnson takes it through the gap and gets a gain of about 5.
That was a good first down. That was a good first down run, especially being behind in the down and distance. 1st and 10, or 1st and 15, you get a solid run for 7 yards.
Yeah, 7 yards actually.
2nd and 8 here, and that's kind of what you want. You want to be able to run the clock, run the ball. Little over. It's 5:45 right now, so just keep running the clock.
Shotgun set, 2 wide on the far side. Sailor keeps it himself on the read option. He gets some blockers, and he brings it all the way down to the 45-yard line. That'll be enough for another Carolina Forest first down. And a good job by the Panther offense just moving the ball down the field very methodically now on the running game.
Right, and that's kind of been compounded by how well Luke Janik and Khalil Johnson have been running the ball. Scotty Sailor's keeping them now, which means that they're biting on the running backs.
They marked him down at the 44-yard line, so it'll be 1st and 10 from there. Ball in the middle of the field. Shotgun set, H-back on the near side as well as 2 wide receivers. They'll hand it off to Johnson. Johnson almost gets wrapped up in the backfield, but then a bunch of Tigers just come in and envelop him at the line of scrimmage. They will say he got a gain of 1. Almost lost a couple of yards, but was able to shred a tackle, but just could not do anything more as the Tigers were in the backfield very quickly on that run.
And it's good you mentioned that it was almost a loss because Khalil Johnson did everything in his power to get out of that tackle, and he turned it from a loss of 2 or 3 to a gain of 1, and that's a big difference when you're trying to run the clock out.
Yeah. So 4.5 minutes left to go in the game. Shotgun set, H-back and 2 wide receivers on the near side. Snap, hands it off to Johnson. Johnson gets through the line, but not much else as he gets wrapped up. They'll give him a gain of 3.
Timeout by Conway
and
here.
Conway decides to call a timeout. And like we talked about, that timeout now comes back to bite them earlier on in the third quarter because now they only have 1 timeout.
Right, and not that I think this game...
I mean, this game's pretty much over at this point anyway.
As long as Carolina Forest keeps running like they have been, which I'm sure they will.
Yeah.
But that's kind of one of those things where it didn't matter this time. What happens next time when Conway's in the same position or even Carolina Forest. Forest, if Carolina Forest had a down man, I'm sure Coach Mark Morris would have called a timeout.
Yeah.
So it's just the little tiny things in a game that you pay attention to. As they're going to come back out on the field. And I expect them to go back into that power set. They've been running it really well on this drive. And I'm kind of surprised Luke Janik isn't in the game for this power set because that's like his bread and butter. But
I mean, Khalil Johnson is doing a great job anyway, so I don't think it really matters.
And see, but like the way I see it, Khalil Johnson's more that speed option, that triple option type back. I want to see Luke Janik in this type of situation where you're trying to get running up the middle, and they're going to call it, and Carolina Force is going to call a timeout here.
Huh.
So it almost seems like Coach Mark Morris is trying to play in tandems with his timeouts.
Yeah. So we'll take a quick break while they take a timeout here. 4:10 left to go in the game. 27-7, Panthers in the lead.
There's a new chicken in town. Bo's Supreme Tenders aren't just good. They're made from scratch good. Recurring dream good. Pull over and crush them in the parking lot good. Because they're made with juicy chicken that's ex-vegetarian good. And a bold southern crunch that's good to the last crumb good. Did we mention house-made buttermilk ranch good? Bo's Supreme Tenders. They're good. It's Bo time.
Back to action now with 4:10 left to go in the game. Panthers just about have this one wrapped up, just running out the clock at this point. 27-7 is the score. And this is a great bounce-back win for the Panthers. And gaining some momentum here in region play. Shotgun set. 2 wide on the far side as well as the H-back. Sailor takes the snap. Speed option and whistles are blown. Looks like this is going to be moving back on a false start.
Yeah. Moving all over the line. I think the offense jumped first, and that they did. And it's just can't really have those types of penalties when you're trying to kind of ice a game. And it gives them more room, I guess, but you just never want a penalty even at any point in the game.
No, absolutely not. So that'll make it 3rd and 11 now.
And they're making some substitutions here, bringing in another tight end. And we've seen a lot of that power kind of set with 2 tight ends in the game.
Yeah.
And they basically just act as extra linemen because you don't want to have a second string of lineman in there. You'd rather have your first string tight end who's worked with them before.
So shotgun set, 1 wide on either side. They'll hand it. Oh, no. Saylor keeps it himself on the read option. He'll try to get around the edge and will get a gain of about 4. So that'll make it 4th and 7.
And Scotty's staying on the field, so it looks like they're going to.
So they're going to go for it on 4th and 7 from the 46-yard line.
And
47-yard line.
Luke Jenks coming in, so.
Excuse me.
Who knows?
Yeah.
You never know with Coach.
It might have been a situation where they were trying to fool Conway,
Maybe.
but now they're bringing in Janik and
Conway's moving back. So.
Yeah. Makes sense to punt at this point.
Yeah, just pin him back as far as possible.
And Luke certainly can punt it.
Mm-hmm.
He puts up a high punt going all the way back. A great bounce. They'll down it at the 6-yard line.
And that's twice today that he's done that.
Yeah.
Right at the 6-yard line. And I think that's low-key an underrated part of Luke Janik's position in the game.
And not just that, did you see the backspin on that?
It was almost perfect.
Yeah.
It went straight up.
Yeah.
And that's kind of.
I mean, if Luke Janik wasn't so good of a running back and linebacker, you could see him being a punter at the next level.
Right. And some of those people do double, like, it would be interesting to see a linebacker and a punter.
That would be interesting to see, yeah.
Or a running back and a punter.
Yeah.
But
running back and punter especially, then you could do. Could you imagine Could you imagine in the college game them using the system that the Panthers have, thrown down the middle and caught for a big gain by Jameek Dukes on the slant route, and that's a big game for Conway. After they were pinned back, they get all the way down to the 30-yard line.
Just under 3 minutes to go. I don't think they're playing for the win anymore, but if they wanted to get a score before, they kind of need to hurry up.
Yeah. 1st and 10, ball on the 25-yard line. Shotgun set, 2 wide on either side. 3-step drop. Looking near side on the cut route and being dragged down after a gain of about 6.
And that was good tackling. There's Luke Janik and number 40, Sammy Lassie, there for the stop. And both of those players made really good plays and really good reads on the ball to see where the quarterback was going with the ball.
That was Caro James with the catch. So it's 2nd and 3. Shotgun set, 2 wide on either side. Going deep and almost intercepted by both.
Jaden Johnson and Wesley Fletcher.
Both Jaden Johnson and Wesley Fletcher was right there.
Both of those people I know very well. Jaden actually rides my bus in the morning. But Jaden and Wesley were there. Both made really good defensive plays. Wesley almost had his 2nd interception of the game, and it's one of those things where I called it. It was a duck. It was a floating. Yeah. It was just floating up in the air, and he was hit as he threw, which is why it was kind of just floating up in the air.
Shotgun set, 2 wide on either side. Snap, 3-step drop. Looking, now rolling out to his right. Still looking is Granger, and he throws it high and it's intercepted.
Where was he going with that ball?
I have no idea. He was trying to find somewhere to go with it.
There's a flag down, and Granger's down.
That was Jack Schuessler who made the catch.
And Granger's down. Granger does not.
Granger got nailed as he threw.
I think it's a holding on the offense penalty, but more importantly, Granger looks in a lot of discomfort.
Which would mean if it is a holding on the offense, it would be declined.
Yeah,
and it's an interception for Schuessler.
They just waved off the penalty decline. Granger throws an interception, but more importantly, he looks. Yeah. Maybe you think concussion to start when he starts getting up gingerly like that.
Maybe. Obviously, and you don't want to speculate.
He's walking on his own power.
Yeah, which is good.
You're right. You don't want to speculate.
Yeah.
But you think of what type of injuries are like that.
Certainly hoping for the best for Devin Granger. But now the Panthers have the ball with 2 minutes left to go in the game. And, at this point you can basically just run out the clock.
Right, and Jax Schuessler was able to make that play, and he was in the right place at the right time. I watched him go from the near side of the field where we're at to the far side where he got the interception. Just able to read the QB's eyes is one of the most vital parts of being a defensive back.
Shotgun set. 1 wide on either side. They'll hand it off to Johnson. Johnson gets destroyed in the backfield for a loss of about 4. So that'll make it 2nd and 14.
But he didn't go out of bounds.
No, he did not.
Running.
That keeps the clock running. A minute 45 left to go in the game.
And it looks like they're going to go. Oh, no, Scotty's just talking to Coach Mark Morris right here.
You were thinking he was setting up as a wide receiver?
No, I thought he was setting up. I thought they were just going to go direct snap to Khalil Johnson and call it today. But I think they're just going to go into a victory formation.
Yeah.
I think that's what Coach Mark Morris wanted to talk to Scotty about.
Do they have enough time that they can do that?
I think
I guess it would be close.
It would be close enough to where it doesn't. I don't think it really matters.
Yeah, so they'll go into victory formation.
He's gonna walk around a little bit.
Sailor knees down.
Yeah, they'll be able to.
Yeah, so they can run. So now with minute 10 seconds left to go, 40 seconds left to go on the play clock, they can run it down and knee it down on this 3rd down, and then just let the clock run out from there.
What a game!
What a
game!
This is exactly what you wanted to see as a Panther fan, as a bounce back from 2 weeks ago.
Right, and we talked about we haven't seen a complete game from Carolina Forest. I think this is the most.
This is the closest to a complete game that we've seen as Sailor downs the second one, and that will do it. As the clock is running down on this game. Final score 27-7. Panthers win it, get their first region win of the season. This is a good bounce back win for the Panthers. But now they got to turn around and they have to try to avenge their loss against Sumter next week.
And even I would like to just focus on this game.
Yeah, of course.
Because this win brings them to 1-1.
Yeah.
Which is much better than being 0-2. Because you now have a clear shot at playoffs with this win instead of having to need help later on or having to beat a Sumter or a St. James or just a St. James, because those are right now the top 2 teams in the region.
Yeah.
So you cannot overstate the importance of this game.
No, absolutely not. Because now, like we talked about earlier, like we talked about at the half end during the pregame, now we said whoever loses this game is going to be in serious threat of missing out on the playoffs. Now the Panthers have gotten out of that. It looks like they're in the clear now for the playoffs at least. Now they have to build some momentum heading into it. And before we sign off, the latest update, 17-3, Socastee leads St. James at the end of 3. So it looks, barring something crazy happening like it did
3 weeks ago.
3 weeks ago, it looks like Socastee will win that game. So, Socastee gets a win. Carolina Forest now gets a win. And it looks like, obviously there are still a bunch of games to be played.
Right.
But at this point, it looks like Conway more than likely is going to be the odd man out.
This puts you on the inside track to get to playoffs.
Yes.
You are no longer having to fight your way in. You are battling other people to stay in.
Exactly.
And that's where you wanted to be after this game.
Yeah.
And lots of Conway. I live out in Conway.
Yeah.
I live 5 minutes from here.
Yeah.
A lot of Conway people were talking all that about how, Conway's back. This is our year. Well,
not so fast.
Feeling like Lee Corson, not so fast, my friend. But just a great win overall.
Yeah.
Wesley with the interception. Jack Schuessler at the end of the game with the interception. 4 total turnovers. 3 interceptions. The Luke Janik fumble or strip sack thing. Just a great. I'm stoked about the defense.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The defense, we talked about it over the last, three or 4 weeks. We've talked about it basically the entire season of defense needs to get better. Defense needs to improve if they want to win games. And they did just that tonight. The defense was great. Offense played well. Not quite to the level that they have in years past, but enough to win this game.
Right. And that's and the defense just needs to play well for the offense to score because they're not going to be able to put up 70 points a night.
Yeah.
The defense just needed to be able to stop somebody for more than 3 drives a game. And that's what they did today.
Yeah.
They got turnovers and they stopped them on 4th downs, the 4th and 2. Even though it was a botched snap, he could have. I mean, anything can happen on any given play. Them stopping them right there was huge, and that's probably one of the momentum shifters. If Conway gets that first down, who knows what happens with this game? Because they were down only by one possession at that point.
Yeah.
So, just depending on what could have happened, that possession right there was big.
Absolutely, great win for the Panthers. And this gets them back on the track to have a winning season, gets them back in at 500 overall this season, gets them 1-0 in region play now, and this is just exactly what you wanted to see as a Panther fan going into this game. So that'll just about wrap it up for us tonight. Once again, final score 27-7. Panthers win this one. Any final thoughts before we...
Great game, and we'll see y'all next week.
Yep, we'll see you next week. Next week, home game against Sumter. Be sure to tune in to all the action next week. Once again, final score, 27-7. Panthers win this one in Conway, getting their first region win of the season. For Preston